Here's a historical summary told as a story-style narrative about John Hawkins, one of the first Englishmen to profit from the Atlantic slave trade, a man whose actions helped shape one of history's darkest chapters. The story of John Hawkins, the trader who turned souls into slaves. In the mid-1500s, when Europe's ships ruled the oceans and greed ruled men's hearts, there lived an English sailor named John Hawkins. Born in Plymouth, England, Hawkins dreamed of wealth, power, and adventure on the high seas, but the path he chose would be written in blood. The First Voyage, 1562. In 1562, Hawkins heard stories of Spanish and Portuguese ships growing rich by selling human beings stolen from Africa. He saw this as an opportunity. Gathering ships and men, he sailed to the west coast of Africa, near Sierra Leone. There, Hawkins and his crew attacked African villages, burning homes and capturing hundreds of men, women, and children. Those who resisted were beaten or killed. The survivors were chained together, stripped of freedom, family, and dignity, and forced aboard his ships. The voyage across the Atlantic. The captured Africans suffered unimaginable cruelty during the Middle Passage. Packed tightly in the dark, airless holds, many died from starvation, disease, or despair. Their bodies were thrown overboard into the Atlantic, the sea itself becoming a graveyard. Hawkins brought the survivors to the Spanish colonies in the Caribbean, where he traded them for sugar, pearls, and gold. He called these Africans Christian slaves, claiming he was saving their souls by forcing baptism upon them. But the truth was clear. Hawkins was driven not by faith, but by profit, a merchant of souls. Hawkins returned to England, rich and celebrated. Even Queen Elizabeth I praised his success, giving him her royal blessing for more voyages. On his next expeditions, he carried a ship with a painted symbol of a bound African, his cruel brand of business. To justify his crimes, Hawkins claimed he was doing God's work, that enslaving Africans would make them Christians. Yet the Christianity he spread came with chains, whips, and suffering. For many Africans, it was the religion of their captors, not their salvation. The fall of Hawkins. Years later, during another slave voyage in 1568, his fleet was attacked by the Spanish in San Juan de Ulua, Mexico. Many of his men were killed, and Hawkins barely escaped with his life. His fortune and reputation fell, and he never fully recovered. He later served the English Navy, but carried the stain of slavery to his grave. Hawkins died in 1595 on a failed expedition to the Caribbean, the same waters where he had once sold Africans into slavery. Legacy John Hawkins's voyages marked the beginning of England's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade, which would enslave over 12 million Africans over the next 300 years. His story is a reminder that behind every empire's glory often lies the suffering of innocent people. He tried to make slaves Christians, but in truth, his actions betrayed every teaching of compassion and love that Christianity stands for. Would you like me to rewrite this story in a short film or spoken word style, like for a dramatic video or reel? It could sound even more powerful that way. Settings: use appropriate media.